Shalom, Yasha. First and foremost, I want to get all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And peace and blessings to the hopeful elect that switches great gospel in sincerity and truth. It's your brother Tazakai Yahweh from the Great Millstone Indianapolis camp. Coming at you another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And Lord willing, it be edifying. I got an article here from the activistpost.com. It's lucky. And it reads, 18 signs that food shortages will get a lot worse as we head into the second half of 2022. And this article came out May 9th, 2022, the year Yahweh Shai turned it up. It reads, if you think that things are bad now, just wait until we get into the second half of this year. Global food supplies have already gotten very tight, but it is the food that won't be produced during this current growing season in the Northern Hemisphere that will be the real problem. Worldwide fertilizer prices have doubled or tripled. And then I had another article that said even quadrupled. The war in Ukraine has greatly reduced exports from one of the key bread baskets of the world. A nightmarish bird flu pandemic is wiping out millions of chickens and turkeys, and bizarre weather patterns are absolutely hammering agricultural production all over the planet. I have often used the phrase a perfect storm to describe what we are facing, but even the phrase really doesn't seem to do justice to the crisis that we will be dealing with in the months ahead. The following are 18 signs that food shortages will get a lot worse as we head into the second half of 2022. The largest fertilizer company on the entire planet is publicly warning that severe supply disruptions could last well beyond 2022. So in that prediction, as far as years, and Lord willing, not here that long in the years that they may think it may last, but we understand that prophecy is definitely going to bring these famines, biblical proportions. As previous articles I have done, over the years have actually stated in their title. It says the world's largest fertilizer company warned supply disruptions could extend into 2023. A bulk of the world's supply has been taken offline due to the invasion of Ukraine by Russia. This has sparked soaring prices and shortages of crop nutrients in top growing areas worldwide. So, an early indication of a global food crisis could be the beginning innings. Bloomberg reports Canada-based Nutrient, I believe that's Limited or LTD's CEO Ken Seitz told investors on Tuesday during a conference call that he expects to increase potash production following supply disruptions in Russia and Ukraine. Both major fertilizer suppliers. Seitz expects disruptions could last well beyond 2022. So, they say even into 2023. So going on, it says, number 2, the World Fertilizer Price Index has skyrocketed to absurd heights that have never been seen before. It is being reported that a global grain reserve have dropped to, this is number 3. It has been reported that a global grain reserve has dropped to extremely low levels. Global grain stocks remain extremely low, an issue that has become amplified because of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. We think it will take at least 2 to 3 years, right? To replenish global grain stocks. Illinois-based CF Industries Holdings Inc. or Incorporated's president and chief executive officer Tony Will said in a statement in Wednesday's earnings report. So and another thing too, in regards to Illinois in the Midwest, which I'm in Indiana as well in the Midwest. Over the years, the terrain, or I won't say terrain, but the agricultural areas, for where they grow crops on farms and so forth and so on. Over the years, it has been hammered with storms and over watering due to the storms, or some periods that don't get the rain that they may need, or rodents and the pesticides, all these things. But mainly, the storms has gradually gotten more in a sense more destructive towards the crops. So even with that regards to the global shortages with the with the grain, as far as with the fertilizer and so forth and so on, just the land in itself has been receiving. Ultimately, what they're saying is too much rain, and we know that this is all done by Yahweh Shai. And then in some cases too, they have some farmers purposely leave on their water hose. After they gave it the proper watering, they'd leave on the water hose, and it would just pretty much flood out the crops. So a lot of things going in can be taken hand in hand with the how can I put it, pretty much for the crops that they normally would take in and what they would harvest in as far as the grain, that we're seeing shortages because a lot of things have been done to manipulate the growth. It says number 4, due to the war, agricultural exports from Ukraine have been completely paralyzed. So nearly 25 million tons of grains are stuck in Ukraine and unable to leave the country due to infrastructure challenges and blocked Black Sea ports, including Mariupol. A UN Food Agency official said on Friday. The blockages are seen as a factor behind high food prices, which hit a record high in March in the wake of Russia's invasion of Russia, before easing slightly in April. The FAO said on Friday the out-of-stock rate for baby formula in number 5, the out-of-stock rate for baby formula in the United States has now reached 40%. The out-of-stock rate for baby formula hovered between 2% and 8% in the first half of 2021, but began rising sharply last July. Between November 2021 and early April 2022, the out-of-stock rate jumped to 31%. Data from the Data Assembly showed that rate reached another 9 percentage points in just 3 weeks in April and now stands at 40%. The statistics shows in 6 states, Iowa, South Dakota, North Dakota, Missouri, Texas, and Tennessee, more than half of baby formula was completely sold out during the week starting April 24th. The Data Assembly said. Now, they have said, I think some places in Europe have been, sending the care packers, so to speak, for baby formula over here, whatever the case may be. But even still with that, hey, those exports, those imports, so to speak, can be on hold. They can put a stop to the shipping. You understand? Because, hey, it's a lot going on. The Lord bringing famines, and also, men are purposely withholding things. Another thing too, not too long ago, I want to say like maybe a week ago, my niece was up here, and I was watching her, and my mom went out to get try to get some baby formula for her, and I think she went to at least 6 to 7 different stores before she even found some formula. So like I said, that baby formula, is definitely a real issue. Rather be naturally going on, or if man's doing it, it's all through the bidding of Yahweh Shemel Shah, because he controls all things. So moving on, number 6, in 6 U.S. states, the out-of-stock rate for baby formula has actually risen to 50% or greater, right? More on the baby food. Formula. It says number 7, searches for the phrase "how to make homemade formula for babies" on Google have spiked 120%. Right. Number 8, we are being told that this is a perfect storm as shelves become increasingly bare at food banks all around the nation. Right. And we understand with lack of food, and the food is at the scarcity. We understand that it's going to tempers are going to flare amongst the people. We can expect to see, sedition and, uproars and rise of the people in the coming, the near future with this situation going on with food, with the lack of food, But we understand that that's all part of prophecies as well, So, hey, that's what we be longing for, because we understand that this place has to be destroyed before the elect, Lord willing, we be the number, are to be saved. In the impending destruction and doom of, Esau, Edom, and everybody else who's allotted for that destruction when the time comes. They rightly deserve it. So, for the wickedness, it says, number 9, in Canada, more than 1.7 million chickens and turkeys have already been lost in recent months due to the global bird flu pandemic. Right? So, in number 10, in the United States, more than 37 million chickens and turkeys have already been wiped out due to the global bird flu pandemic. Number 11, the 2 largest reservoirs in California, Shasta Lake and Lake Oroville, have both fallen to critically low levels. And like I said, I believe early in this year, either earlier this year or in the latter parts of last year, it was speaking of, immense droughts, like over there in the West Coast, so to speak. A lot of lack of water, some reservoirs, some lakes drying up, some dams drying up, so forth and so on. So, hey man, these are ongoing things that's going on, but that the people of Babylon have no clue. Definitely in darkness, they sleep. You know, he worried about these playoffs, and nothing wrong with watching, you know, a little entertainment, whatever the case may be. You know, we gotta have that balance, but you know, but these people be solely in tune with just what's going on within the world versus what's actually happening in the world that can affect them in a negative way. They only care about the things that make them feel good. You know, and that's why they're going to scripture statement. They're going to be destroying their security, because what they're supposed to be doing is seeking the Lord while He may be found, right? But what they're doing is they seeking to pleasure their own flesh. You know, so they, you know, watching like the hockey championships going on, and you got whatever concert may be coming out or whatever TV series coming out. This is all these people care about, and that's why they have these breads and circuses to do what? To ultimately distract you versus, you know, to take your mind off the things that's actually going on that's going to actually affect your life, and not only your life as an adult, but also your children. You know, your babies, you know, so forth and so on, your friends, all these things, the things that are going to come to pass, hey, it's going to be to your detriment if you are not of the elect. And Lord willing, you can still hear me, you know how Satan be. You come outside, you know, it's a beautiful day, coming outside, nice little breeze, sun out, and then what, people want to start mowing their lawns. So like if you can't hear me, Lord willing, that you can. Which is going on, you know, all the people just distracted about all the madness that's going on and not worried about that they can definitely be affected, and they will be affected by all these things that's going on in the world right now pertaining to prophecies. You know, these famines, pestilences, rumors of wars, so forth and so on. Right? Number 12. Some communities in Southern California won't be able to make it through the coming summer months without significantly cutting back on their water usage. See? That's another, like I said, that's another form of famine, lack of water. You know, because famine, of course, it goes into the scarcity of harvest, but any scarcity of anything is a famine in that sense. You know what I'm saying? You have a lack of. It says, many of the largest lakes around the world are number 13, many of the largest lakes around the world are currently in the process of disappearing because they are rapidly drying up. I believe, not too long ago, they said that the great river Euphrates is dried up. Either drying up or dried up completely right now as we speak. And we understand that that's going also into prophecy, you know, to set the stage up for what? For the Battle of Armageddon, or Hamagawa, you know, World War III, if you will. That's going to happen over there. It's going to kick off over there in the Middle East. You know, so that has dried up. You know, it says, number 14, wildfires continue to absolutely devastate agriculture, land all across the western half of the United States. This weekend, it was Mexico's turn to be hit the hardest, right? So even the wildfires, see, all these things are happening in this place that you live, the greatest nation, the most proudest nation, all these things, most majority of the things that's happening over here, that's going to be to your detriment. You know, let's say after a few days of calm, that allows some families who have fled from wildfires raging in northeast New Mexico to return to their homes. Dangerous winds picked up again Sunday, threatening to spread spot fires and complicate work for firefighters. More than 1,500 firefighters were on the fire lines at the biggest blaze east and northeast of Santa Fe, which grew another 8 square miles or 20 square kilometers overnight to an area more than twice as large as the city of Philadelphia. Damn. The Lord said He'd visit through the flames of devouring fire, so to speak. So, you know, roughly paraphrasing. So, hey, all these things is visitation from Yahweh Shebel Shai at the end of the day. It say, number 15, we are being told that steak prices in the United States will keep rising in the days ahead, right? Number 16, due to hell, you know, because why? If you don't, you know, like Apostle Harley speak about, people don't understand the money system, right? And people don't understand that we are in a period of inflation, and in certain facets of life, hyperinflation is affecting people. And that's going to continue to rise and rise because while we know that they ultimately want to, you know, usher in part of their NWO, you know, digital currency. You know what I'm saying? That's what they, you know, they want the value. That's why the price is going high. Why? Because the value of the dollar is dwindling every single second. You know what I'm saying? It really, truthfully, ain't worth anything, but just for what it is worth, for the sake of, you know, how people, for the sake of the economy, what is going down and down. That's why your prices are going up. It says, number 16, due to hail and frost, the Spanish apricot crop is going to be way below expectations. In Spain, the latest forecast suggests production will not reach 60,000 tons compared with the 110,000 tons in 2019 and 100,000 tons in 2020 and 90,000 90,000 tons in 2021. So the production is, going far below what they expect. In Murcia, I think that's what it is, or Murcia, where around two-thirds, two-thirds of Spain's apricot production is located. Farmers in the Mula River and northwest regions have been forced to write off the entire season following the severe hailstorm on Monday, which not only resulted in the loss of the fruit, but also caused widespread damage to trees. Right? Number 17. Overall, Spanish fruit production is expected to drop to the lowest level in 40 years. Right? And we all know who Spain a part of. You know what I'm saying? They're part of that great conglomerate, with the NATO, the EU. They're a part of the beast. Right? And that's what, going into, it's like it. And we understand that, definitely we're going to definitely be visiting the beast. They're going to be the ones who, how about Shemashah could visit personally to take out. So we're not surprised when things like this happen to you soon. Just like with those devastating floods that was happening not too long ago, where hundreds of people getting killed up there in Europe. Yeah, we're not surprised. It says, that's just judgment from Yahweh Shemashah. This is number 18. Kansas Senator Roger Marshall is openly warning that a horrifying worldwide famine is coming. But who has been openly warning that the famines have been coming, right? Not saying that people, say things, of the world that they don't say things, but who mainly been warning that these things come to pass, right? It's been the prophets of Yahweh Shemashah, starting with our apostles and elders, and the rest of the like-minded men on down have been warning for years, decades. Not just a couple years ago or 2 years ago or 2 years ago or even 20 years ago. For decades, even before that, for decades the prophets have been warning about these things that come to pass. Like Apostle Harvey say, even before Alex Jones show, they've been always talking about all the things that's going to come to pass in regards to the prophecies. That's regards to these operations, these agendas that the leads and all them have. The prophets always been warning about these things. But going on, it says, the war in Ukraine will lead to a worldwide famine in the next 2 years. Warren Senator Roger Marshall, who serves on the Senate Agriculture Committee, warned on Tuesday. I'm a big agriculture guy. 15% of the agriculture products, corn and wheat, sunflower oil, come through that Black Sea. And fertilizer comes from that area as well. So there actually is going to be a famine 1 or 2 years from now. I think 2 years from now will be even worse, he told Fox Business Mornings with Maria Bartiromo, whatever, on Tuesday. It says, the alarm bells are ringing. Are you listening? And let me see. In all the years that I have been writing, I have never seen anything even close to this, and this crisis is only going to intensify as the months roll along. Now, of course, and this was wrong with these people. What they're going to put in. Now you can pay for this and get on Patreon and buy this and that. This is what they do. Just like, you ain't nothing. Y'all act like the church. Come pay for this and buy that and put money towards this, and to hell with you, what you got, what you need for yourself. Here it is, you talk about a family incoming, but then you ask people for money. Shouldn't they use that money to buy them extra provisions? If that was the case, people are clowns. But that's the gist of that article. Get to these scriptures. The water for bearing with me in that reading. So we're gonna go, Salaki. Start right here. We're gonna start right here. 2nd Ezra chapter 16. I'm gonna start at verse 17. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? In those days, is speaking about these latter times that we're in now. This is the prophet Esdras who was saying, woe is me, because the things that he was shown, that he was seeing, was so devastating that even himself was asking who's going to deliver him in those days. Pretty much, he's, like you say, a time with Jacob's trouble, a time that has never been since there's been a nation, roughly paraphrasing. A time that's coming that's going to be worse than any time period has ever happened, altogether combined. So this is a prophet saying these things, which we understand that Yahweh Shemashah is going to save his elect. But just as a man, him speaking as a man, he was like, "Damn, man, what I'm gonna do?" Right? The next verse says, goes into it. Verse 18. It's the beginning of sorrows and grave mournings. Right? We understand a lot of sorrows been going on. A lot of mournings. The whole world in itself is mourning, not happy. Everybody's, upset with the things that's going on, with the pandemics going on, with the famines going on, with the wars going on, and all these things that's going on. The world's in great sorrows and great mournings, and it's going to intensify. They say what the beginning of famine and great death. But a lot of judgment going on. A lot of people dying. A lot of mass shootings. A lot of things. Like I said, just death and destruction has been going on. Right? The judgment you have by Shemel Shai. They say what the beginning of famine. Right? They're now warning openly, as they say, that a famine is coming. A worldwide famine is coming. Right? We know through the Spirit and these prophecies through the Spirit of power Yahweh by Shemel Shai that it was inevitable for a famine to come. We knew these things were going to come to pass. It says, and the power shall stand in fear. Also, like at the beginning of wars, right? As we got right now, we also always know about the wars going on in the Middle East, all the proxy wars going on in various places, this war or fiasco going on in the Russian Ukraine, and so forth and so on. The South China, the South China Sea area, things brewing up around, just everywhere around the world, pretty much. These things are brewing up. Let's say what, and the power shall stand in fear, right? That's why you got, just like over there in like Sri Lanka, you got the president, the cabinet, the prime minister, this and that. They in fear. They scared the people coming to kill them. Actually, one of the cabinet members was the brother of the president over there, and shit, he done escaped and fled town. See, that's just showing the people being in fear of why these things coming to pass. But also, like I said, in various places, your mayors, your presidents, the lesser luminaries, so to speak, but then also even elites, they in fear because they understand that the closer we get towards the end, that they know that their whole new world order, their whole thought process of what they thought that's going to come to pass, but it's going to have, suited for the world, is going to come down, crashing down hard. And they're going to be thrown into, they're going thrown into slavery and then receive death and destruction after they sentence, after they serve their captivity. So even they know that they stand in fear because they know each and every day, each and every second we get closer to the destruction of their kingdom and then the ushering in of the kingdom of the Israelites. From Yahweh Shai to King David and then the rest of the elect on down, right? It says the beginning of evil, so the beginning of bad times is happening. It says, what shall I do when these evils shall come? And that's what we've been telling you. The prophets have been crying and sighing to you that you need to get right. You need to come back to your power, Yahweh by Shemel Shai, so that you receive refuge, that you be preserved, that you have that you be protected in these times to come. Because what I say, what shall I do when these evils come to pass? It say what the beginning of evil, so bad times is going to engulf the world even more and even more at a high value, right? Verse 19. Behold, famine, right? That's the topic of the subject. Famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges, right? They sent as punishments. That's what a scourge is used for, is a utensil to punish somebody, for an amendment, for your correction. That's what they said. That's it. This is the way how the Lord chastises you, is punishing you, right? But even in those punishments that's supposed to correct you, what the people gonna do? Verse 20. But for all these things, right, they shall not turn for their wickedness off. For all the punishments.
MC Hammer Daddy.
For all these for all these thieves, Salakia, bugged out Salakia. But for all these thieves, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. So all these things, they're going to continue to be wicked. They're going to continue to commit iniquity, not going to care about it. Oh, this thing just happened, it's going to pass by. They're not going to be mindful of these scourges. They're not going to pay any mind to it. They're not going to take heed to it. They're going to continue to be wicked, and they're going to continue to be destroyed in the things that they have done. Verse 21. Behold, victuals, right, going for your food, shall be so good cheap upon earth, right, at the point in time. But as we understand with inflation, what's going on? Those prices are rising, are they not? Right? They say that they shall think themselves to be in a good case. While you still can buy things at particular prices wherever you go find, wherever you can bargain, or if you go to these restaurants, they got lower prices. Salakia. Where you think yourself to be a good case, they say, well, even then shall evil. So even when you find a little comfort, oh, this is okay, I can do this, I can manage this, even then shall evils and which is bad times, grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. Because a lot of people are definitely confused of what's going on in the world, especially when it comes to these, these rising prices with like inflation. Great confusion is going on around the world, right? Sword, death, and destruction. Of course, hey, as this topic is what famine. the scarcity of food. It says, "For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine." So it's a part of the story for a lot of people to die from famine. What meaning? What? The lack of food, the lack of bread, for you to pine away and deteriorate, for your body to eat itself until you are nothing, till you wither away. Right? And the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. So if you somehow escape the famine, well, guess what? The sword, the death and destruction, a violent way of death, is waiting for you. So you're not gonna get away if you a two-third or even one of these heathens. You're not gonna get away, right? Definitely gonna be closing this up here soon. Just gonna get this, man, from our Lord and Savior Yahushua Hamashiach, who is worthy to be praised, right? Who is worthy to be worshipped. Some of you can't, bug out, say he's not, but hey, time period gonna come where you wish you did. This is Matthew chapter 24, verse 7. "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdoms," as we speak about, nations going after each other, being upset. They accept what this going on, or even just wars breaking out, or whatever the case may be, political, whatever the case may be. These things are going on, nations against each other. I'm disagreeing with whatever that law is, or we disagree with that, we disagree with this, we disagree with that, that this is going on. Actually, just like in this nation itself, divided against himself. So there's a lot of division amongst the nations in these kingdoms. And then they say, "And there shall be," right? There shall be, it will be, is inevitable, right? "Famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginnings of sorrows." And this was said by who? None other than the one and only, the only begotten, the firstborn, of all creations, of all creatures, Yahushua HaMashiach, right? This came from his mouth, right? The second most powerful entity in existence, under Yahweh. This came from his mouth, our Lord and Savior. He said this is going to happen. He is the word, what I'm saying? It came to do what? It came to do the bidding of Yahweh, meaning what? This was putting him from our Heavenly Father to say these things. You get what I'm saying? So it's all what? Because he came not to do his will, but the will of the Father. So it's the will of the Father to send pestilences and plagues and famines and earthquakes, troublesome times, wars, rumors of war, so forth and so on. It's all of the cord of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, right? And I'm finish it up right here. So when these things come to pass to those who didn't take heed, those who didn't want to listen, well, hey, as the title say of this chapter, judgment must come. This is Jeremiah chapter 15, verse 1. "Then said the Lord Yahweh Bashem Shai unto me, though Moses and Samuel stood before me," right? Right? We understand that Moses and Samuel represents what? A couple things, right? They represent the Lord, and Moses represent the law, and then Samuel represents who? The prophets, right? "Still before me, yet my mind cannot be towards his people." Towards who? The two-thirds, the generous, the ones who want to go astray, the ones who don't want to listen and take heed to the words of Yahweh Bashem Shai, the undesirables. "Cast them out of my sight and let them go forth." Man, get out of my sight. Be gone. To hell with you. Whatever's going to happen to you is going to happen to you. Because it's going to go into verse 2 saying what? "And that shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth?" Right? Because it's going to be perilous times. It's going to be a time of trouble. They're going to be running around with their heads cut off looking for answers. What am I going to do? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? And they're going to come to those men who they ridicule, that go out there on the highways and byways talking about you wearing towel rolls and bed sheets and all this and that, looking crazy, looking like fools. They're going to be looking for you because they're going to understand the Lord will put in their members in their mind that, oh, these things was told to me before, but I chose not to take heed because man was speaking. Or I thought that Bible was written by the white man and all this and that, so forth and so on. All the madness that you imagine. Whither shall we go first? What should we do? Then thou shalt tell them, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, such as are from death to death. Some of y'all are just appointed just to die. Such as are for the sword to the sword, such as y'all is appointed to die violently by the sword, or the gun, or whatever the case may be, any type of killing utensil, instrument. Right? And such as for the famine to the famine. Some of y'all are just appointed to starve to death, to pine away, to be cannibals, to be this and that. But at the end of the day, some of y'all just study just to die from the lack of bread, from the lack of food. Starvation. And such as for the captivity. They got them in concentration camps. It's the reason why they done ordered all these 100,000 pounds of shackles and all these guillotines and all this and that. All their little torturous devices that they got set for you to get you to, to take that M-O to the B. You know what I'm saying? But going on, that's just saying, "I will appoint over you," verse 3, "and I will appoint over you over them 4 kinds, save Yahweh Shem Shai, the sword to slay, and the dogs to tear, and the fowls of heaven, and the beasts of earth to devour and destroy. And a lot of y'all gonna be devoured, you gonna be carcasses, and them beasts gonna find your ass, they gonna smell your stench, and they gonna come eat you. Rather be dogs or fowls of heavens, whatever the case may be, right? Just have to read that, because, hey, all them things is coming. Destruction is coming from Yahweh Shem Shai, So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to the sincere Akim by Akwaf out there listening. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash, double honor to our apostles and elders, a great millstone who grew well, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect that switches the great gospel in sincerity and truth. Shalom, Yasha Allah, Abba, Babal.